Building the Right Thing, Part 2, How Mobius Loop Works. So in Part 1, you heard all about Angie, our product owner, and how the team was delivering lots of output, but not focusing enough on the outcome, which is how you define and measure success. So in Part 2, we're going to show you how Mobius Loop really works. So Mobius has just 7 steps, with strategic, discovery and planning steps on the left, and tactical delivery steps on the right. Step 1, why? So the team start with a challenge or idea. What challenge or problem are they wanting to put their collective effort into? They clarify the problem they're trying to solve with a crisp and succinct problem statement. If our clients keep on switching us off, we will not hit our targets for the year. So they discuss what they need to do to understand exactly what's going on. They ask why the problem exists, who is impacted and how. What does this impact mean? They need to more clearly understand what's really going on and why the problem exists, the real drivers of the problem. So they start with all the people central to the problem and they widen out from here. At this stage, they can tap into a variety of initial analysis lean techniques, such as the Ishikawa or fishbone diagram, the 5 whys, value stream mapping and others to learn more about the problem. They might even create research goals to help them organize their planning over the next few days and to summarize their insights. Step 2, outcomes. What is success? Outcomes describe what success looks like when the problem is solved, the desired results and the goals that they want to achieve. So they sit down and discuss what their desired results are with clearly defined measures of success. This is often when the penny really drops. So they name it. They start with a defining statement that describes the direction of improvement as well as the subject of improvement. In this example, improve the search response times. It should be clearly defined and not vague. They also need to determine the unit of measurement. So in this example, it's seconds. They talk about the method of how and when they're going to measure. They define the target, the desired success level, and the actual value that the target achieves and for whom. They come up with a refined name of the desired outcome. Improve the search response times to under 1 second. It's really important to visualize this so that everyone can understand the current state, the desired future state, the planned and the implemented improvements over time. Once the team complete this exercise, ideas and options are flying around everyone's head as to how to fix the problem, or if they even know enough about the problem in the first place. It could even lead to additional supporting outcomes. Step 3, value. Really define the benefits and who receives them. So how are you going to make, save or protect revenue? Understand the real cost of delay. A slow system equals unhappy customers who switch us off. We lose bookings and this results in a £5 million loss of revenue over a course of a year. So identify and put values against each of the problems and outcomes that you're reviewing to determine which of the outcomes to target first. Step 4, options. So now that we had clear outcomes and the value, how do we get there? And what do we need to do? There are going to be many potential solutions. So rather than calling these requirements and just putting them in the backlog for development, let's call them options and quickly explore what is possible. So in this step, it's crucial for everyone in the team to generate as many possible solutions on how to potentially achieve the outcome. At this point, options are simply hypotheses or guesses, which should be validated before investing too much effort. This step has 3 parts that really work together: creating, choosing, and planning. When creating options, use divergent thinking to identify many possible solutions. Gather people together for some brainstorming, do prototyping on a napkin, shadow or interview users, or create additional hypotheses. The key here is to quickly explore these divergent paths before starting to narrow the options for planning. When choosing the options to work on, you need to narrow the choices and identify solutions that deliver the most value. You can also use the options picker here, which can just help you. You can then plan to simply implement the option or do additional research or experiments to gather more knowledge before you move forward. Step 5, this is all about delivering. Research, experiment, and implement, REI. This is where the action takes place. Teams are going to be researching, experimenting, and implementing the options they've come up with. Do really quick tests and experiments, and if the option looks like it's going to pay off, well, invest more. If not, just move on. This way, you haven't committed too early and delivered something that's never going to be used. These are also not sequential. Where knowledge is high and or risk is low, implement those options immediately as user story. But where the knowledge is low and the risk is high, then additional experimentation and research will give the teams enough information to then decide if the option is worth implementing or not. There are so many experimental techniques that can be used. Get a beta-friendly customer, or switch a feature on to a particular cluster only and monitor the results over a short period. Or launch multiple options simultaneously and evaluate the results, and then just launch the best one. These can all be done really easily with the aid of toggles, enabling you to switch a feature on and off really swiftly. A/B testing or MVT, multivariate testing, are also great ways to see what design works best. There are a whole host of ways to experiment, and this is key to determine what will be successful and generate the right outcome. These experiments can also form stories within your backlog, and the beauty is that minimal work will be required in order to conduct them. Step 6. Measure what's happened. This step is crucial as it allows the gathering and reviewing of results in order to determine the next course of action. The best place to start is measuring the option's impact on the outcomes. How much has this option taken us towards our desired outcome? And also, how much does this cost us in time and resources? Visualize the results and then share them. Step 7. Adapt. So what should we do next? After gathering the data and reviewing the results of the options, the stakeholders then decide what to do next. They continue to invest in the current options if the team's making progress and delivering value against the outcomes. Continue to invest in this until you approach the point of diminishing returns. Or you could create new options if the team is not making progress towards your outcomes, or if you feel new options would generate even greater value. You could also focus on new outcomes if the stakeholders do not feel like enough progress has been made on the current outcomes, or if you've made enough progress but are past the point of diminishing returns. Otherwise, you could focus on a new problem entirely, and this is when the stakeholders might feel the current problem has been sufficiently resolved, or it no longer warrants the investment. So in Mobius, as long as there's the desire to solve a problem or opportunity, this cycle is continuous. The new options are researched and created on the left-hand side of the Mobius loop, while the others are being experimented and implemented on the right-hand side of the loop. Mobius is a problem-solving framework, focused on the outcomes that matter most. It removes all waste and allows the team to really add value by building the right thing. So now Angie and the team are truly happy, as they are no longer just delivering output fast, they're all delivering valuable outcomes. Thank you for watching. Please visit mobiusloop.com for a whole host of additional resources.